Hey guys, and welcome back to Fringe Friday. I am Carmen, and today we are going to be watching season 2, episode 10 of Fringe, which means I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but that this is the mid-season finale of season 2. And especially seeing how the last few episodes have ended, I am quite stressed about what is coming. We had the Observer people saying that things were about to get very hard for Olivia. We had Walter in the last episode really struggling to find himself and his independence after St. Clair's, and really grappling with the fact that he is not the same person that he was when he went in, and he can't have fully the same independence and kind of life, I guess you would say, that he had prior to that because of his memory, which could be just a result of all of the drugs that were unnecessary that they gave him when he was in St. Clair's. Could be more nefarious, could be a lot of things, you know. I assume that we're going to find that out as we continue on the journey with Walter and this show. But yeah, I think it is safe to say that I am, excuse me, a little bit stressed. But I am ready. Probably not, but we're gonna press play anyway because I want to see what happens next, even if I might not want to see what happens next, you know? Let's just do it.
Container.
What is he? What the hell is that?
Code break, order B.
That's not exactly discreet, but I guess maybe they aren't going for discreet.
My sincere apologies. I'd rather not leave you in such a state.
Is he just gonna leave him with his head open? That's pretty messed up, you know?
Mr. Slater?
It's so much worse than I thought. What? Was that a piece of his brain? Was that something else?
When he was admitted, he was diagnosed with acute paranoid schizophrenia.
Basically, two guys broke in, cut a big hole in his head, and did what? Drove him insane?
As unlikely as it sounds, yes. And just as strange, we can't find evidence that they did anything to him.
What did they take out of his brain then? Aww, Walter.
Doctor, I'd like to see the patient.
That's where we're going right now, Walter, to see Mr. Slater.
Peter, we're going to see a sane man. I'd like to see him when he was a patient.
Okay.
The girl in the red dress, chrysanthemums in her hair. Her mother grows them in a box on the windowsill.
Okay. Maybe he knew something, though.
What did you do with her? What did you do?
I wonder if he's remembering from the other world. You know?
17 years I was in St. Clair's, never a single visitor.
Walter.
Oh, I wasn't trying to make you feel guilty, son. It was just an observation.
I know that face.
Oh, he was one of the heads. I mean, he was, but did she recognize him from being one of the heads?
I've been looking at these faces for the last 2 months.
So she remembers.
And William Bell told me the man with that marking would try to open a corridor from our universe to the other side. I managed to infer that the results would be less than desirable.
Exactly how much less desirable?
Very much.
Biblical proportions.
Real bad. Real bad.
I don't know what Newton's up to, but I know what I have to do. I have to stop him.
I mean, you do, but I don't know how.
There is no Simon Paris in the AMA database.
He's an alias.
Why would someone do that, Walter? Make someone crazy.
Any number of reasons.
Because they didn't want the information.
14 years ago, Dr. Paris set up an indefinite prescription of medications for Mr. Slater. In the same week, he wrote the same prescription for 2 other patients.
In the same week.
Ooh. You would make someone crazy because they know something that you don't want people to feel is valid, you know?
Arrhythmomania, they call it.
You're obsessed with numbers.
Just one, actually. 28.
Okay. Girl with flowers. 28.
It's Tuesday morning, I woke up and it was gone, just like that.
What does this have to do with the FBI? We're not sure. But do you mind if we take a look at your head?
My head?
It should only take a minute.
Seeing if she has surgery.
It's here. Fresh scar, but there are no sutures.
Mrs. Crampton, did you have any visitors during your stay here?
My husband, my son.
Well, what about the doctor who referred you, Dr. Paris?
No, never.
I wonder if he looked like the other guy.
The arrhythmomania just started one day.
It's that Dr. Paris guy. What's the connection?
How can I fight what I can't understand?
I know you think you're alone in this. Maybe that's because of what Belle told you. Maybe that's just your personality. But this isn't just your fight.
Yeah. You have friends.
Oh, one of the drugs that Dr. Paris prescribed is sirolimus. It's an anti-rejection drug. It's only given to organ transplant patients. It's absolutely useless for a paranoid schizophrenic.
It was whatever that thing was that they took out of the brain.
The human brain. But it's useless. Dead. Because when you remove brain tissue from a living body, you can keep it alive for a short time in a nutrient suspension. But eventually it will die.
Wait, he put a piece of brain in different people?
Paris found a solution. He stored the brain tissue inside of another brain.
Yeah.
Did you see this slight discoloration here? Normally that would be interpreted as machine error, but this is not a machine error.
It's brain tissue.
This is foreign tissue.
In their brain.
That's why they were all on anti-rejection drugs.
So the surgeries that Newton performed...
He was removing transplanted brain tissue.
Okay, but did their memories have anything to do with anything important?
Why cut
Or
out
did they?
someone's brain and store it inside other people?
To keep it alive, for one.
I have no idea.
Peter, can I, speak to you a moment?
Is Walter a part of this?
Walter, you said that you never had any visitors in your time at St. Clair's, right?
That's right.
According to their records, Dr. Paris visited you on 6 separate occasions.
What? He doesn't remember.
Mind if I take a look at your head?
Oh my god. What if it's his brain? I mean, that doesn't make sense, right? But what if...
It's there. It's different, it's older, but there's definitely a scar.
What if that's why he doesn't remember? Because they took parts of his brain? Is that possible? Or...
What do you think that man did to me?
I don't know.
I don't know, Walter.
Something to make you forget.
Well, we're going to find out, okay?
Ah, sorry. It upsets me.
See the look on his face when we were talking to Mr. Slater? What do you think that's like for him? Wishing that he could turn back the clock to before he went crazy.
I think it's hard.
He's just sane enough to realize how much he's lost.
I don't mean to sound callous, but from what I know of your father, going crazy made him a better person. It certainly made him a better father.
I should have visited him in St. Clair's.
Yeah. I thought that's where this was
You're
going.
waking up for that now?
You can't turn back the clock either, Peter. You know? You can only do what you can do from here. Sorry.
I've never seen anything like it. 3 scars, all on the same side in the left temporal lobe.
These incisions go all the way down into the gray matter.
They took parts of
He
his
didn't have
brain.
brain tissue implanted. He had it removed.
Yes! That's what I said!
Doctor, do you have the scans of the other 3 patients?
Sure.
Yeah.
Look. It's a perfect fit.
Maybe we should take you to a hospital, Walter.
No, I think that they're gonna show up at the house.
Why don't you stay here and rest?
No, he's gonna get kidnapped. No, I think he's gonna get kidnapped.
I'll be back.
No, I think they're gonna be waiting.
He must have removed pieces of Walter's brain, but why? And why preserve them?
Because he wants to know what it's on.
Memory.
Yeah.
Bell told you that Newton wants to open the door to the other side, right?
Walter
We already
knows
know that
where the
Walter's
door
done
is.
that. He just can't remember how.
Yeah.
That is why he can't remember. He literally had the memories removed.
Yeah.
So, in the department of how to make impossible things possible, what would he need to do?
Reunite their memories with Walter.
Implant the memories into a brain that could interpret them.
Walter's.
Walter.
Yes.
He's at your house. You sent me to get him an album.
How long ago?
5 minutes ago?
You gotta get
Turn
back
back.
there.
Turn
Walter
back.
is in danger.
I'm on my way.
It's probably already too late. That is so... No, don't answer the door.
Foundation for
Don't answer the door. Don't answer the door. Walter, don't answer the door. Walter, don't answer the door. Walter, don't answer the... Walter!
Hello, Dr. Bishop.
I said don't answer the door. You know, I knew that this mid-season finale was going to be stressful.
Last week when Walter got lost, he did exactly what you'd expect Walter to do. He implanted a transponder chip into his neck so that if he ever got lost...
Okay. Good, good. Good, 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 good. It's becoming useful.
Keep going and take the next left you see.
Okay. Be nice if this GPS thing would just work like Find Your Phone does now, you know? Just tell you where it is.
Take the next left.
Did they find it and take it out? Like, I'm scared. They took it out. They found it. Damn it!
Peter.
No. No.
Peter.
It's not working.
The least they could do is give him his brain pieces back.
The girl in the red dress. The girl in the red dress. 2828 Sydney Green Street.
And Casablanca.
She lived across the street from me when I lived in Cambridge as a kid. Her
Yeah.
name was Sydney. She lived at 2828 Green Street.
So those were Walter's memories.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Memory is all about... It's all about context, all about association.
Which suggests what?
I don't know.
Oh, come on, Peter.
Maybe they're going to take him to the place that he did it.
Oh, Raiden Lake, the lake house.
No. That's where he actually opened the door, but it's not where he had the thought.
The beach house. His house.
Yes, this place exists in both worlds. You see, but on my side, the trees died long ago, and the same thing killed the grass. They call it the blight.
The blight. Sorry. It's very Horizon that I'm playing right now.
I have a question for you.
Don't tell him, Walter. Don't tell him.
Tell me how you did it.
No, don't tell him. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I know why you built it. The door.
Okay.
Now, are you going to pretend that you're willing to lose him again? Tell me about the door.
No, don't do it, Walter. Walter. Don't do it.
You're here.
That's okay. We're done.
What? No. No.
My apologies, Dr. Bishop.
No, you don't have any fucking conscience.
Walter! 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 Can you hear me? Walter, can you hear me? Walter!
Yeah, he's okay.
Hello, son.
Oh, the people who live there now.
They just left. Out the back.
Olivia!
Please, FBI!
Look at the plate, look at the plate, look at the plate. Look at the plate, just look at the plate. Oh, damn. Shoot. Sebastian's not with him.
Come out of there.
Oh, he is.
Keep your hands where I can see them.
Holy shit.
You so much as twitch, and you won't have a head.
Don't get closer to him. Don't get closer. Don't get closer. I'm scared.
Whatever was in there, memories I'll never get back.
It's alright, you don't need him.
Hello, son. Hello, son.
Walter?
What's wrong? What's wrong?
It's about Walter Bishop. I injected him with a neurotoxin, and unless he gets the antidote, in 4 minutes, it will kill him.
Hey, it's me.
I've done something to Walter. I don't know what it is, but I think maybe he's been poisoned. Olivia, you gotta get back here. Please.
Listen to me. Do you see a medical kit?
Yeah, there's one here on the table. Why?
There are 3 vials in the kit. Injected in the correct order, they neutralize the toxin. Now hand me your phone. When I hear you go back into the house from Peter's phone, I'll tell you what to do.
You're crazy if you think I'm letting you go.
Olivia, please, I need your help. I think he's dying.
You can have me or Walter Bishop.
Oh my god.
Go to hell.
Cause she cares.
Do you have the medical kit?
Yeah.
Blue, yellow, red. And Olivia, now I know how weak you are.
You're a fucking dick. Because she cares about people, she's weak. Like, fuck you. Come on, Walter, wake up. You're fine, wake up. Thank you.
I have a terrible headache. And a sudden craving for chicken wings.
I chose my friend over my responsibility.
That's good. You're a good person.
We've given our enemy a name and a face. That's something.
Mm-hmm.
And you saved Dr. Bishop's life. That's
Yeah.
something too.
Yeah.
If you had captured Newton or even killed him, that wouldn't have been the end of this.
Yeah.
But there's only one Walter Bishop. And we'll be meeting him before this is over.
That's true.
Don't be so hard on yourself. We're going to be needing you too.
And being a human and making a human choice isn't bad. Like, caring about people isn't bad. It's not a weakness. It's a strength.
I should have visited you, Walter.
I'm already emotional. I can't do this right now.
Oh, that's okay, Peter. If you had, I probably wouldn't have remembered anyway.
He's ready, Dr. Ferris.
The system is completely clean.
Are you... I fucking knew it! I knew he was gonna be fucking William Bell.
Hello, Walter.
Spock, why are you doing this shit?
I'm frightened, Billy.
I wish there was another way. But what you've accomplished is just too dangerous. What if we ever have to go back? Don't worry. I'll put it in a place that only I can find.
Does Walter remember this though? Did he create a new memory? So he's gonna actually remember, even though he shouldn't, because they took those spots of memory, but his brain created a new one. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm trying to be less emotional, but that episode fucking got me. I'm pretty sure. Oh, I'm so mad. Okay, sorry, you guys. I'm trying to collect thoughts and form coherence out of them, and it's not working. But first off, I'm so mad at myself for not saying during the episode that I thought Paris might have been William Bell, because I had that thought and I was like, I'll talk about it at the end of the episode, because I didn't think that we were actually gonna, meet Paris. And then that was at the end of the episode. It was revealed. And so I didn't have time to talk about it before it was revealed. And now, it's like, oh, of course you thought that, kind of thing. But it's frustrating, right? Because William Bell was, it seems, with Walter's permission, really? He was trying to do the right thing to stop people from being able to access this information. And it seems from the flashback memory that we got that Walter was on board with the idea, even though he was nervous about it, right? And so it's frustrating that it didn't work out, that it actually just completely backfired and lost Walter his memory and part of his brain, literally, and it made him lose a part of himself that now he's never going to be able to get back. And I just think that that's really sad that the plan backfired so spectacularly in the end, and now Walter has to live with the knowledge that he's never gonna get that part of himself back. At least it seems that way. Now, my question is regarding the flashback. Were they just showing us that? Was that just for the audience to know that William Bell was Paris and that they concocted this plan together in a sense? Because they said he visited 6 times. Presumably he could have taken all of the pieces at once, or at least over 3 different surgeries. So there's 3 other times that William Bell visited Walter that are unaccounted for, right? Where presumably they concocted this plan and talked to each other, right? And those are just memories that we don't have anymore. But, sorry, my thing was that just for the audience's sake, to let the audience know that that's what happened, or was that Walter having that memory, in which case maybe a part of Walter created a new memory of the door, so there is another pathway that could access that information that he could then remember and tell Peter and Olivia. There's a difference in short-term and long-term memory, right? Short-term memory, I'm not smart enough to talk about, I'm not educated enough on the topic of short versus long-term memory to talk about this, but I know that short-term memory and long-term memory are different, and that could have been a memory that he hadn't yet stored into long-term memory, and so eventually it is in long-term memory so that he can access it. Talking about him and William before the surgery talking, right? Hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. Also, I suspected that the girl in the red dress with the flowers, 28, and Casablanca were going to be relevant in the grand scheme of things, because I'm like, maybe that's like gonna lead somewhere, right? And it did actually lead somewhere. And I'm glad that Peter was able to decipher it from his own past and figure out like what they were trying to go after and who, and I mean, he knew it was Walter, but like figure out where they would take him and why and everything, because obviously it led to us being able to find Walter and ultimately save him. And I say us like I'm part of the team. I always do that. But it led to them being able to find Walter and save him. And I do think that, to pivot a little bit, that Olivia is too hard on herself, because I think that in this sort of situation, there's always the idea of I should be willing to sacrifice to save everyone, right? So the idea that I should be okay with sacrificing this person that's close to me that I care about for the greater good, right? It's this kind of recurring theme in a lot of shows and movies and things like this, right? Stories like this. The idea that the hero might have to personally sacrifice in order to save the world. And I think that my personal thing is, I don't think that it makes you a bad person, and I don't think that it should take away from your status as somebody who is trying to help the world if you save the people that you love. Because at the end of the day, what is my personal vested interest in saving the entire planet if all of the people that I love are dead? Do you know what I mean? Like, not that the rest of the world shouldn't have value and importance and everything, but I should not be willing to sacrifice the people that I care about in order to create this better world. Because if I'm not creating it for them, then who the hell am I creating it for? You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the way that I look at it. And it's like, I don't think that being human and caring about people should ever be perceived as a weakness, right? Like, in the grand scheme of like, yes, I can kidnap Walter. Yes, I can kidnap Peter. And that is going to cripple you in a way. That's going to impact you. That's going to be your quote unquote weakness, Achilles heel, because you care about these people. But I don't think it should be seen as a bad thing to care about people. And I think that Broyles' perspective of saying like, you know, he's a henchman at the end of the day, right? This guy, like, they could send more people like him to get the job done. If he dies, if you get him, they're just gonna send somebody else. Whereas there's only one Walter Bishop, and he's incredibly vital to this fight. So even if you did make an emotional choice, you also made a logical choice and a rational choice, because saving Walter ultimately helps us in the end. And, you know, you ultimately help us in the end too, because Olivia is fucking powerful as fuck, one, which Broyles does not know, but she's very important. And Walter is very important. And losing Walter would be a much bigger blow to this world than losing Sebastian's character would be to that world, I think. And at least that's what Broyles is saying. And I agree with him in that sense. Also, can I just say, because I cannot help but be reminded of it, as you see, I have my collector's edition of Horizon Forbidden West figure back here. And Aloy is up there as well. She's between, she's in this general area. And so obviously I've been playing Horizon Forbidden West. If you know, anyway, you guys know that I played Horizon Zero Dawn as well. And Broyles is Silence, and in Forbidden West, there's the Blight, you know, which is happening. And it's just very funny because you know, what they call what's happening in the other world, the Blight. And it's just very funny to me because it's just very cyclical. It reminds me of Horizon Forbidden West. And then when I play Horizon Forbidden West and I see Silence, then I'm reminded of Broyles, and I always call him Broyles. And I'm like, Broyles, what the hell are you doing, man? Like, stop. But anyway, that's very beside the point. But it's just funny that I'm playing at the exact same time as I'm watching this, and it's leading back to each other, you know? Also, you should play Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West. I'm obviously nowhere close to finishing Forbidden West right now, but it's really, really good so far. Anyway, to speak on the Blight in Fringe, it's interesting because, so we know that based off of Olivia's visions, that not good stuff was happening in the alternate world, right? And did I call it World B? I think World B. So not great stuff is happening in World B. And although also good stuff happened in World B because they averted 9/11 and, you know, stuff like that. So anyway, but apparently they're dealing with something called the Blight, and trees are dying, and it seems like their world is dying. And he said it's gotten worse, he's heard, since he's been here. And it's opening up a new perspective, because I didn't understand why there would be an inevitable collision, right? Because in the ZFT manifesto that Bell wrote, he said, you know, all this stuff, but ultimately in the end, only one world will survive, ours or theirs. And I'm like, well, why does that have to happen? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, why can't you just both live peacefully? And my only hypothesis thus far was that maybe by opening a door, it was, you know, messing it up. Because as I think Nina Sharp said, two places can't exist in the same physical space at the same time, right? You know, or two things can't exist in the same physical space at the same physical time. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, what she said. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe opening the door is causing irreparable damage to something, and so the worlds are going to have to collide, and then one is going to have to survive. But with this new information, it seems like maybe the reason that World B has started this plan is because their world is dying. Something happened that caused the Blight, and it's irreversible, maybe. And so their only hope for survival is to come to World A? Right? Or, yeah, I don't know. That's my guess. My very uneducated guess, but more educated now than it was before. Like Whirl said, every time we get more answers, we get more questions, but at least we have some answers. Also, as you guys saw, Walter and Peter, you know they get to me. You know that they fucking get to me. And seeing Peter in this episode really struggle with the choices that he made in the past, like not visiting Walter and just thinking of what Walter's experience must be like, it really gets to me, because I think that Peter holds a lot of regret for the way that things have played out in so far as Walter and St. Clair's and everything, now that he's gotten to spend more time with Walter now. And I think that it upsets Peter that he let so long go by being angry and not confronting that anger, not facing that anger, and trying to have a conversation and a relationship with Walter. But I think that you can't go back in time, right? I mean, maybe they can on Fringe. I don't know, actually. But you can't change the past. It's already happened. It's gone. So my own personal philosophy, which you didn't ask for, but I'm telling you anyway, regarding regret, is that it's a waste of the time that you have now to regret something that you can't change from the past. Now, I'm not saying that you can't make mistakes and learn from those mistakes and hopefully grow and become a better person. But yeah, it's a waste of time to dwell on the past and regret things that have already happened, because you literally have no way to go back and change it or affect it. And yeah, so don't waste your life now worrying about things that have already happened. Now, again, by all means, grow and change and evolve and learn and become better. Hopefully we're always growing and changing and evolving and becoming better versions of ourselves. But don't hang on to regret, because I think it only stifles you and it only makes you stuck where you are. But I'm glad that in this episode that Peter kind of confronted that finally, because I think that it's been building for the past 2 seasons, and that I'm glad that he's finally, he apologized to Walter. He let him know that he did have some regret and some guilt in that he didn't visit him, and Walter sort of, jokingly absolved him of that. And I think that that's good for both of them going forward, because it's always better in a relationship to be honest about things that you're feeling and thinking, and it can only help in the future once the other person knows that you care enough to feel guilt for that, and they can then, maybe if they were carrying any resentment, like if Walter had any resentment towards Peter for not visiting him, which I don't think that he did, but if he did, maybe that could go away with the knowledge that Peter had guilt and regret in regards to the same thing, So I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed Peter getting very upset at the track that they found the tracker and took it out. And I just, as you guys know, I love Walter and Peter's relationship. I literally cannot say it enough, because I say it in every episode. And to see the sort of evolution of it and the intricacies of it, and to see it face such a hardship as it did in this episode of the possibility of Peter losing Walter, it got me. It fucking got me, because I don't know, it would just be really fucking sad, right? It would just be sad, and I don't want to think about it, and I don't want to think about it. Yeah, pretty much. I am interested in Sebastian's character and his full character motivations, and who is telling him what to do and all of that stuff, because as we saw in this episode, he talked about, I already talked about, the blight and the fact that their world is dying, it seems like. And so that's obviously a motivation for him. But he has superiors, I feel that he's not just doing this on his own, and he didn't just create this plan on his own. I think that there are people that he's answering to, and I'm curious as to who they are and what their motivations are. If their motivation is indeed to go from world B to world A because world B is dying, or if not, then what is their motivation? And yeah, just what is it? Are they trying to do they want to open the door because they want to shuffle people into world A? But it's it doesn't make sense, because there's 8 billion people on this planet right now, and presumably world B is very similar. So there's no way that through one doorway you're gonna send billions of people. So what is their end goal? Also, it is good to finally have confirmation and know that Walter's memory issues and why he is struggling so much is not due to, or not solely due to, the drugs and whatever he endured in St. Clair's, but it's because William Bell literally took pieces of his brain out of his brain. Like, I would not have guessed that. Like, I wouldn't have guessed it. There's no way that I could have seen that coming. And I think it's a crazy, interesting, horrifying sort of storyline, but it's great writing, and I just feel bad for Walter, like I've said in this post-episode discussion already, because he lost a part of himself and he's never gonna get it back, I don't think. Like, those pieces of his brain died, and I don't think that there's any way to bring them back and bring that part of him back. And I think that's really, really sad. All right, you guys, so I think that is all that I really have to say about this episode. As always, if you want, you can like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. And you can watch the next episode right now over on Patreon, which is linked in the description down below, as well as my entire full-length reaction to this episode and every episode thus far of Fringe. Again, it is linked in the description down below. I am going to take a breather and mentally prepare for the next episode. I hope to see you there. Until then, bye guys.